What's up, Geeks and Gamers? Mike and I are back once again with another movie review. And today we're going to be talking about the new Netflix original called Kate. This film stars Woody Harrelson and what's her name?
Mary Elizabeth
Mary
Winstead,
Elizabeth
you swine.
Winstead.
You
And
uncultured swine.
I don't care about Mary Winstead. Who cares about her?
What?
Who
I
cares
do.
about her?
She's amazing.
She's all right. She's not that great.
She's a gift to cinema. How dare
But
you?
in this movie, she decided to just go all in on the just horrific acting, I guess, arena with the man himself, Woody Harrelson. It was a complete train wreck. But before we get into all of that and kind of give my thoughts about that, I want to hear from Mike. Mike, what are your thoughts about the movie Kate?
Listen, you uncultured swine. Mary Elizabeth Winstead was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She was in Sky High. She was also in, yes, I am looking at a list to make sure I have all Live Free or Die Hard.
Wow.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Great
Listen,
movies.
you know what? I don't need you to hate on her.
So many
She's on 10
great
Cloverfield
movies.
Lane.
Okay, that was a pretty good movie. That was a pretty
Yeah,
good
there
movie.
you go. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
There you go. Proven wrong. You know what?
Scott Pilgrim was a good movie too. But
something
yeah.
you were not wrong about is
What?
her acting in this movie is trash.
Yeah, everyone
this movie
was...
is ass. It sucks ass. It blows ass. It is ass. It smells like ass. Yeah,
it's just
I
ass,
mean,
man. It's just
ass, man. And I want to say like, oh, the cinematography was good because like there's like a, I don't know, they try to go for like a Japanese like neon punk kind of like vibe, but some of the time like it's there, and then other parts of the movie it's just not.
It's just
and
not.
It tries to go for like gritty realism.
Mm-hmm.
And like the beginning, like the first like 20 minutes of the movie, both me and you agreed like we were kind of interested. We were like, oh, this is kind of fun and stuff like that. And then there's like this really weird all CGI car chase.
Yeah.
That like changes the whole thing. And then I don't know.
Yeah.
The premise of them. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it really felt like right after that car chase, they were just kind of like, well, we got that cool thing out of the way. Let's just who cares about the rest of the movie?
Yeah, the rest of the movie can go downhill. The premise is that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is an assassin who was raised by Woody Harrelson to be like a really good assassin. So it feels very similar to The Protege, but no offense to my man Woody, he's not as cool as Samuel L. Jackson. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead is not Maggie Q. So they do not have the same kind of like connection. You don't really feel like they're friends. You kind of just feel like Woody is there for the paycheck and Mary is trying her best to carry this movie. That's what it feels like from the get-go.
It really does.
But she's an assassin who kills somebody and then finds out that she's been poisoned and she has like less than 24 hours to live and decides to kill everybody that may have poisoned her. And if the concept of it was just like this balls to the wall, I have nothing to live for, I'm just going all out, I'm murdering everybody, and just blood will spill in the streets tonight because I got screwed, so everybody's getting screwed, I think this movie would have been a million times better. That is not what this movie is. It is not. It tries to be a little bit, but there's a girl in it who she's like rescues and saves, and then her and the girl kind of have like they're supposed to be like friends, and she's trying to protect this little girl, and the movie's just all over the place. And at the same time, it's only an hour and 45 minutes. This movie felt like it was like 2.5 hours long.
Oh my goodness, dude.
It just dragged.
Oh my
on.
goodness.
There's
just this one part where it really felt like the movie was kind of building up to like a climax and stuff, and it was just like, okay, this is the big moment of the movie. And then there's like literally like another like 20 to 25 minutes after that where the movie just keeps on going and going, and it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, we both were like, what is going on? Why is this movie not over yet? It tries to like do like a 1-2 punch reveal of like, oh, by the way, did you guess this? And you're like, yeah, I guessed it, because it's cliche and tired and not surprising at all. Like I said, Woody Harrelson is in this, and I love Woody Harrelson, but there are moments in the movie where it literally feels like he's reading off cue cards. Like he'll deliver a line. This is not an actual line in the movie, but it'll be like, hey, Kate, you're finally here.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll just stand there and you're like, what? Mm-hmm. Like, or he'll keep talking and he's like, yeah, the guy is doing the thing, and you're like, but why are you talking like that? It feels like he's reading. They just took the first take. They're like, listen, we got Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
We don't want to pay him any extra money. Do the first take he gives you, and then let him go.
Yep. It literally felt like that. Like you could actually tell that that's pretty much exactly what they were doing in this movie. Yeah. Like Woody Harrelson put no effort into this whatsoever.
And he's in like only 2 locations in the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You can tell they didn't want to have him on a bunch of different sets, so he's in like 2 locations in the movie.
Yeah,
I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead had a lot of opportunity, but the script is so bad and so stunted, and the story is so awful that she didn't really get a chance to shine. Yeah. And then the moments where she does like really try, they come off as disingenuous and like an actor is trying their hardest to do well. There's like a scene where she like gets into a fight with a guy, and for some reason like the fight's kind of difficult, but then she just like loses her mind and like shoots the guy like 18 times after he dies and like screams, and she's like, and you're like, what was that all about?
Yeah.
And then they just kind of move on from it. And then also you think with this movie, kind of similar to the movie Cranked with Jason Statham, you'd think you have less than 24 hours to live. Get your ass moving. There are multiple times in this movie where she is sitting down eating dinner, where she's
drinking
like
pop,
drinking a soda. She's just chilling and having conversations with people. And they kind of explain this off. Like she has in the beginning of the movie, she gets these 5 like adrenaline shots that are supposed to help her stay alive. And she just like injects them every so often. She's like, now I have more time to live. And you're like, okay, but why are you wasting it standing here talking to people right now?
Exactly.
Speaking of soda, there's also this really weird thing in the movie about Woody Harrelson gives her like this lemon soda. I'm guessing they're a sponsor because this movie is set in Japan. They really make it a point to remind you they're in Japan a lot. And then there's like this soda that she wants, like lemon drop bomb soda or something like that, lemon bomb soda or whatever it is. And Woody Harrelson gives her some of it in the beginning of the movie and then nothing about it. And then later in the movie, she wants some at like a vending machine and they don't have it. And she gets really upset about it. And then nothing for most of the movie until the very end where she's like sitting in the back of this car and she's dying. And this person is like helping her. And the person like pulls out a soda and starts drinking it. And she like stops. She just like stares at him. She's like, and he like looks over like, why the F are you staring at me like that? And he's like, oh, the soda. And he gives it to her and she drinks it. That's it. There's nothing else about it. There's no flashback to let you know, oh, this was like a great memory of mine. She just really wanted this freaking soda. And if she didn't get it. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of really awful pacing in this movie too. There's a lot of weird scenes where people are just like staring at each other for like very, very long moments. And it just gets to the point where it's super awkward and stuff. A lot of the action scenes were actually pretty horrible too. There was one where it was like in a restaurant and stuff. I think it was like that Black Lizard restaurant, I think it was called or something. That was a pretty good fight scene. But besides that, like pretty much everything else was not that great when it came to, I mean, it was super unrealistic. There's a lot of weird moments in the fight scenes where it's like, wait, what are they, why are they doing this? Like,
there's straight up like scenes where like Mary Elizabeth Winstead will throw a punch and it'll connect and you can see it and it connects like this. And the guy goes, oh, and throws himself. But normally you cut it so that the guy, you know, the punch follows through and the guy falls, whatever, you know, it's supposed to have like dynamic. You can tell that there is a start and stop point to the choreography. And then when it hits the stop point, then the other guy reacts. And I think that's because the director, I think this is only the second movie. And you can see some inexperience in the directing. And the choreography is definitely not his strong suit because you can see, man, it would have really helped to have a couple like edits here and there. There's like one really big fight scene with this guy who's supposed to be like a major dangerous assassin, I think. I don't really know. And they're fighting him in like a kitchen in his house. And the fight is just really slow and bad and like ends up with him knocking the main character, Kate, down on the ground. And she knocks him down on the ground. Then he knocks her down on the ground. And then there's a gun. Kate pulls a gun and the guy knocks it out of her hands. And this person that's with Kate tries to pick up the gun. And they pull an infomercial thing where it's like, have you ever used hands before? Because this person grabs the gun and drops it. Grabs it like this and drops it on the floor, and then they grab it again, and they're like, "Oh!" with the gun, and then drop the clip out of the gun, and then spends like a good amount of time in the fight going, trying to figure out how to put the clip in the gun, just to then accidentally shoot Kate and then not shoot the guy and then hit the guy over the head with something else.
Yeah.
Yep. They're like, we got to find something to do. Maybe this person doesn't know how to use a gun. Just let them flop around with this gun. Then there's also, so one of my favorite scenes in John Wick, the first movie, is he's fighting a guy in a club, and he's like fighting this guy, and he runs out of ammo, and he punches this guy in the throat, and the guy's like choking on the wall while John's like reloading his gun, puts the second clip in his gun, reloads the gun, and then shoots the guy in the head. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Yeah. So they try to do this in this movie, and they try to be clever about it. There's a scene where a guy has a machine gun on Kate, and she has a gun, and there's multiple scenes in the movie where she runs out of ammo and forgets she doesn't have enough ammo in her gun.
Everyone ran out of ammo
every time.
It was just ridiculous, like the entire movie.
So many times. But she pulls her gun and he goes to shoot the guy and click, and then he goes to shoot her and it's like click. All he has to do is drop his clip, grab a clip from his waist belt, put it in there. She has to grab a clip off the ground, find it, put it in the gun, cock the gun, shoot him. She does not do that. She grabs the clip, flicks a bullet out of the clip, takes it with her hand, drops it into the chamber, then cocks it back, then shoots him. Before this guy just puts another clip in his gun. I was like, what was that? And it takes so long that it's not cool.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Not like, whoa, this is like a trick she learned to like give her an edge. And then she does it again later in the movie when she doesn't have to like remind you, oh, remember she can do that thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but she could have just put a clip in that gun. Like, yeah. Oh, also, like you said, the misfiring happens through.
Oh my god,
she has more plot armor than any character in the history.
Dude, it is ridiculous. This woman will not die. Like, Woody Harrelson gets like shot like once, and it's over. It's over for him. She goes through like hell. There's like radiation poisoning, getting shot multiple times, stabbed, kicked around, thrown around, and she's okay. Just inject another shot. You're good. You're good for another hour.
She's fine. She's like, I'm good. Yeah, and it's not even like, oh, this is awesome, like tough badass, like John McClane style, like I'm getting beat to shit. It's just, I took some damage, but it's okay. I'm fine.
It's just like so ridiculous that it's not even like something that you can really get like even like upset about. It's just like, it's beyond ridiculous. It's beyond anything I think I've seen before. And of course they had to have the one moment where, literally like this dude has like a bunch of his like I don't know, henchmen or whatever that help her like storm this building and stuff. She's like laying on the ground and stuff, and he like comes over to like give her a hand up and stuff because she just got like I don't remember what happened, like shot or something, or I think she got like shot in the leg or something. And he like gives her a hand, and she like stands up on her own and stuff, and it's like,
and then he looks at her and he goes, I'm not even joking. He looks right at the camera. Like, that was impressive that you got up on your own. Okay, even though you're dying and you got shot and you needed my help to get into this building in the first place.
I've never seen someone be able to take so much damage and still just keep going.
And then also have so many guns misfire haphazardly when they get shot at.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, this movie, I just got done watching Malignant, and that movie was so bad it was good, and I had a great time. And I gave it an F for horror, but I gave it a B for everything else. This movie gets an F for horror and an F for everything else. It was not good. No. I would not recommend wasting your time watching it on Netflix. There are many other better things to watch on Netflix than this. You know what? I would even recommend going on HBO Max and watching Malignant a second time, or going to the theater and watching Malignant a second time before I would say to watch Kate even once, or even watch the first 30 minutes of it. It's not worth your time.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm going to give this movie a D- because I've still seen way worse stuff in this movie, surprisingly. But I totally agree. Like, it's not worth the watch. I did not really have a fun time throughout this movie. There's a lot of moments where I was like, why did you decide to do that for this moment? Because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There's literally like one moment where she says something like, we got to get out of here. And then like 2 seconds later, she's like, stop following me or something to this girl that's hanging out with her and stuff. And so there's just a lot of weird writing moments, and the acting was awful, dialogue was atrocious, and it just was not a good time at all. So I do not recommend this movie at all. So With that being
news
said,
for you, but yeah.
With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and we will be coming out with another review very soon. So hope you guys are looking forward to that. In the meantime, have fun, and we'll catch you in another one very soon.